Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Girivanadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Girivanadari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jayam Vishnu Paraparamahamsa Paravakacharya Asatara Shishimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnu Paraparamahamsa Paravakacharya Asatara Shishimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantikoti Vaishnava Vindi Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Veda Garada Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakti Vindi Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Samakunda Radha Kunda Givi Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dhamma Ki Jai Mathura Dhamma Ki Jai Navadipa Dhamma Ki Jai Go Brahmanandi Hari Bo. All glories to the simple devotees. All glories to the simple devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Savior of the whole world. Ki Jai. you have to make your obeisances until the person who's doing the pranams finishes. Isn't that? Some of the temples, they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I only do a short one. Okay, thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate. No, excuse me, Mataji wants to make introduction.
Hare Krishna. We have great fortune to have amongst us Her Grace Surabhi Mataji. Hari Bol. Surabhi Mataji got introduced to Krishna consciousness in June 1971 and got initiated in 2 months, August 1971, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. She joined Sankirtan party and lived in the temple for many years. She has 5 children and 9 grandchildren. Her main services has been doing Harinam Sankirtan, singing, dancing on the streets. Mataji is a book distributor and a great cook. She loves to travel, and once joined Krishna consciousness, she never stopped traveling for Krishna all over the world. Hari Bol. And another thing, I was told that she has lived in Australia, London, and Germany. And in Germany, she was behind the bars, and they have survived on dry bread, and still they continued persistently in Krishna consciousness. And in Australia, she was running Govindas, and she has been an expert cook. I'm sorry, Mataji, she has actually told me not to use some words of glorification like expert and amazing, but I think it is for our purification that we glorify Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Oh. I'm going to read from the Sri Upanishad today, but first of all, because this is the Srimad Bhagavatam time of the day, I'm going to read the verse that we would be talking on, and that is which one? Which verse is it? You can tell. Yeah, which text number should I? Text number 6. No, it's got 24 here. What number is that verse? Come here, I can't hear you. No, it's reading the Srimad Bhagavatam first. So what is the verse for today for the Srimad Bhagavatam? 9. Okay. All the formalities. So today's verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam is Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. I like that verse. Canto 7, chapter 3, text 24. So I actually love the story of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad very much. So translation, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter 3, text 24, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, with translation and purports by Srila Prabhupada. So I'm going to read the translation and purport, and then we've got the Sri Upanishad, which I really like to talk on today as well. So we'll do both. So, seeing Lord Krishna present before him in the sky, carried by his swan airplane, Hiranyakashipu was extremely pleased. He immediately fell flat with his head on the ground and began to express his obligation to the Lord. Lord Brahma. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 9:23-24, whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. I am the only enjoyer and the only object of sacrifice. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. In effect, Krishna says, persons engaged in the worship of the demigods are not very intelligent, although such worship is indirectly offered to me. For example, when a person pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring the water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulated principles. The process of watering a tree is to pour the water on the root. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors to the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated in the Bhagavad Gita as avidhi purabhakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performances recommended in the Vedic literatures, but actually, all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should work only for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization known as Varnashram Dharma is specially meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. However, less intelligent persons, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to the material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. Although Hiranyakashipu offers his obeisances unto Lord Brahma, he was strongly inimical towards Lord Vishnu. This is a symptom of an asura. Asuras worship the demigods, and being separated from the Lord, not knowing that all the demigods are powerful because of being servants of the Lord. If the Supreme Lord were to withdraw the powers of the demigods would no longer be able to offer benedictions to their worshippers. The difference between a devotee and a non-devotee or Ashura is that a devotee knows that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that everyone derives power from him without worshipping the demigods for particular powers. A devotee worships Lord Vishnu, knowing if he desires a particular power, he can get that power while acting as Lord Vishnu's devotee. Therefore, in the status, in the Shastra, Bhagavad Gita 2.3.10, it is recommended, Akama Sava Kama Var, Moksha Kama Udara Di, Tirvena Bhakti Yogena, Jojati Purusham Param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be in this material world, full of material desires, free from material desires, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. Even a person has material desires. Instead of worshipping the demigods, he should pray to the Supreme Lord so that his connection with the Supreme Lord will be established, and he will be staved from becoming a demon or a non-devotee. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya gives the following quotation from the Brahmatarika. Since Vishnu is the Supreme, by worshipping Vishnu, one can fulfill all one's desire. There is no need to divert one's attention to any demigod. That's a lovely verse, isn't it? Kind of sums it up about what Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. But here it's described fully that there's no hope of him becoming immortal if he tries to worship the demigods. And the demigods, they know also that all my devotees that are worshipping me, they should be worshipping Krishna. Because if the demigods, Lord Indra, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, if you look on their life and what they do, who do they worship? Lord Shiva is Krishna's greatest devotee, isn't it? And he loves Krishna. But he has so many people worshipping him and saying Shiva is God, right? But Lord Shiva would never say that. He doesn't encourage them. Because he's actually he lives very simple, and he also always looking for ways to worship Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna. And the same with Ganesh. Ganesh has done the greatest service, helping to write the Vedas, and Lord Brahma, he's the creator. So Lord Brahma creates, Lord Shiva destroys, and Lord Vishnu maintains. Who's got the hardest job? Who's got the hardest job? Lord Vishnu, yes. Because one can build a beautiful temple like this, and you do see this, in no short of a time it starts to deteriorate. Because if you don't maintain something, it's not going to last. And you just need to go for a walk down the road in the town, and you see things are just falling apart because no one maintained them. So it's very, very important, and Prabhupada would be extremely pleased with you all if you always keep the temple clean. And it's not hard to see. You just walk around, maybe in your room, you see little things, they're starting to deteriorate. But if you leave it, you just say, I'll do it later, isn't it? I'll do it later. And later never comes. And then it's too later, and everything's falling apart. You'll be sitting on the bench or leaning on the wall, and all of a sudden the wall caves in because the later never came. So it's very important to maintain. I always encourage the devotees to keep the temple clean, because Srila Prabhupada, he taught us that cleanliness is next to godliness. And then he changed it to cleanliness is godliness. Do you know that saying? Cleanliness is godliness. So it's our duty, all of us, to maintain and keep these temples clean. When we see a paper on the ground, or we see that something needs cleaning, we shouldn't just think someone else will do it and walk straight past. I have no time. It's the wonderful mantra of the material world, the no time mantra. And you know, when you go out on books, they're always running past you. No time, I'm going to catch my train, right? And so unfortunately, this no time mantra has crept into the devotees too. And so whenever we see something that's not clean, we pick it up, we maintain it. We're doing this for Prabhupada, because Prabhupada went to so much efforts to build these beautiful temples for us, to help us to become Krishna conscious. And we cannot become Krishna conscious if we're always worrying about, if I sit on that seat, I might fall through it. Right? So it's our duty of every devotee in every temple to be part of the crew for cleaning, for looking after, maintaining things. Because we're a big family. We're all a family. Here we have the Prabhus. We can say they're our Papa, some of them, or they're our sons. And here you've got the Matajis, they are your mothers, right? Remember? The seed, you've got the seed-giving father, but you have the mother who carries you from the time you're conceived. And she carries you all through her life in her mind. Even now I have sons and daughters in their 40s. Do you think I ever forget them? They are always in my mind. They are always my children, right? I am always their mother, right? So we should never forget our mother, and we should give them the highest respect, no matter how elevated we are in spiritual life or think we are in spiritual life. We should always see the ladies as your mothers. And we can see the older devotees as our fathers. For me, I see Srila Prabhupada as my father, but the other older devotees, I see them as my mentors, right, like that? Yeah. And one can learn so much from a mother, isn't it? Learn so much from a mother. So here is Hiranyakashipu. He's so jolly to see Brahma, because he's got the idea in his mind that I want to achieve the highest thing, and that's I want to go to heaven. You know, they call it the staircase to heaven. So Brahma, he thought, if I meditate and do austerities, I will achieve the staircase to heaven. And of course, we all know that the staircase to heaven is unachievable, only for the devotees. Only for the devotees. And with the devotees also, the devotee has to be very sincere and show Krishna through the spiritual master that he really wants to go back home, back to Godhead. In this lifetime, the devotees would say, Srila Prabhupada, we want to come back and save the rest of the conditioned souls. Prabhupada said, no, this Kali Yuga is only getting worse. Do your business and get out. He never told us to come back. Do your business and get out. This material world is only getting worse. So we have to follow his good advice and take it very, very seriously. And lock up those mobile phones, those tablets, those computers in the night, certain time. Actually, what they did in Mayapur, they took away the mobile phones and they not the fancy ones, they gave them those little flip ones so that they couldn't get on the internet, right? Did you know that? See, you can use things in Krishna's service, but you can also, through those material things, they can deteriorate your consciousness. So you have to be very, very, very careful. Because these things are made, actually all this electronics, they're made to manipulate. They're made to take you away from real life. So they're doing a good job. So you have to be very careful. Always try to keep your minds on serving Krishna. If you can, 24 hours a day, even when you're sleeping. We can dream of Krishna. If we've, during the day, if our activities are God conscious, then at the night when we go to sleep, we actually dream of all the activities that we've done during the day. And in that way, you can keep God conscious even when you're resting. And then you hop up in the morning and you're excited that you're going to have another wonderful day. How many of you experience that? How many of you experience that when you hop up in the morning that you think, oh, another wonderful day in Krishna consciousness? How many? Put your hands up. Yes, no? My God, not many. You better work hard. You won't be going back home at the end. How are you going to remember Krishna at the time of death if you're not blissful when you get up in the morning? Or do you get up, oh no, another day, I've got to get out of bed. It's so early in the morning. I don't want to get up, I just want to sleep, right? Is that what you think? Do you think that way? No? Do you think, oh, it's so wonderful. What is the time? I went to bed early last night. It is 3 o'clock. I'm going to quickly get up and have my shower and I'm going to chant some rounds before Mangalarti. How many of you do that? One. Oh my God, shock horror. I've got to give you the nectar today. The devotees come and they say to me, please can you bless me? I do the same blessing for everyone. I put my hand on their head and I say, I bless you that you may go to bed early and get up early and chant some rounds before Mangalarti because they're going to be your best ones. And I was so, so happy. This year in Mayapur, I was in the Grihastha section and there's this little grocery store and there was this one very tall devotee. And I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Kazakhstan. And I said, oh, yes, I've been there. He said, I know. He said, your mother Surabhi. And I said, yes. He said, you have changed my life. And I said, really? And he said, yes. When you came to Kazakhstan, you told us all about getting up early before Mangalarti and chanting rounds. He said, I'm a pujari. I had so much difficulty. Every night I'll be up late chanting my rounds. But since you told me that, I've changed my whole life around and I get up every day early and I chant 16 rounds before Mangalarti. And I said, oh my God, I said, you don't know how much that touches my heart, that you are doing what I asked you to. And do you really want to make Mataji very, very happy? Do you want to make Mataji very, very happy? Yes? I want you all to get up before Mangalarti and chant some rounds. Can you do that? All of you. I want every one of you from tomorrow to get up before Mangalarti and chant some rounds. Can you do that? You can do it. It's only the mind that's telling you you can't. You can. So let's then. And then your spiritual life will change. It will become wonderful. You'll be so happy to get out of bed in the morning. You'll be getting in bed at 8 o'clock and you'll be putting that alarm on for 2 o'clock in the morning. Or maybe first 3, then gradually. When the devotees say to me, I ask them, how many rounds did you chant? And then they say, I chanted 10. I said, if you just get up half an hour early, you can have chanted 14. Oh, good. I'll do that. You see? Because you can get at least 4 or 5 done in half an hour. Must be already ready to go, right? Imagine that. Imagine you all getting up early and chanting so many rounds before Mangalati. So you already have an ecstatic Mangalati. You'll be flying off the walls, isn't it? Yeah? You're understanding what I'm saying. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? So I really want you to make an effort and to get up early and chant rounds before Mangalati. And all your whole life will change. All your problems will become insignificant. And your whole day will be wonderful. Prabhupada said, rise early before 4 a.m., attend the whole morning program, and your whole day will be auspicious. Right? So this is giving it a bit of a more auspicious, even more auspicious. And you'd be surprised how many devotees in the world are doing this now. When I go to Mayapur, sometimes I see devotees talking. I said, well, how many rounds have you chanted? Because they're just talking straight after Mangalati. One said, I've chanted 11. Oh, yes. The other one says, I've chanted 13. I said, who has told you this? And they said, Japataka Maharaj, Bhaktidev Damodar Maharaj's disciples get up at 1:30 in the morning. And they are not allowed to have prasadam until they've chanted all their rounds. So he's doing that too. So this is a very good thing. I'm very happy when I heard that and inspired when I hear that you are following the process and you are having a whole day auspicious. Your whole day is just auspicious. You see? So you want that? You want your whole day to be auspicious? And if you chant your rounds before Mangalati, they'll become super auspicious. Right? So please give it a try. All of you. I'm giving you my blessings right now. I'm telling you this. Anyway, we're going to go on to the Sri Ishapanishad now. There's a very nice verse in the Sri Ishapanishad. When in the early days, we used to sing the whole of the Sri Ishapanishad, all the verses, all the mantras, I think up to mantra 10, this one. And then we used to sing, we used to recite a verse from the Ishapanishad every morning. Sometimes this is mantra 10, it's quite a long one, but we can read some of it. I'm not very good at the Sanskrit, as you noticed. So we're reading from the Sri Ishapanishad, mantra 10, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is, mantra 10. Anyad evaho vijaya nayan ahur avijaya iti susruma niranam ye nastad vichachakshashe. Translation and purports by Srila Prabhupada. The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nations. Misguided knowledge, that's what nations means. As advised in chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, 13, 8, 12, one should culture knowledge in the following way. 1, one should become a perfect gentleman and learn to give proper respect for others. This is a very, very important quality, especially in our preaching in Krishna consciousness. If we want to reach the people, we have to be respectful. We have to give them attention and treat them like gentlemen. Sometimes I do this. I'm walking in the mall and I see a lady, she has a pretty dress on. And I said, "That dress just looks so beautiful on you." And she goes, "Oh, thank you. That made my day." So in that way, you touch their heart. And they will always remember you. "That's that lady that told me I had a nice dress," you know? So in the same way, if we be respectful to people, give them respect when respect is needed, people remember that. And then sometime later when we see them, they'll remember us. So this is a nice preaching point. And Prabhupada taught us we should kill with kindness. We should always be very kind as devotees. That's why this getting up in the morning early and chanting our rounds before Mangalati, it purifies our heart and we become a much nicer person. And then our preaching will be more successful. So if you're a grumpy one, then you really need to get up early and before Mangalati and chant your rounds. You know what grumpy is? You don't know what grumpy is. No one knows what grumpy is. Grumpy is, you know, you get up and you're angry with everyone and everything. You say, "Hey, what happened? How come you're so grumpy this morning?" So that's what grumpy is, right? So that's not a very nice quality, grumpy. So if you want to overcome your bad qualities, you try this method. Rise early and chant your rounds before Mangalati. And your whole day will be auspicious. Your whole day will be different. And you acquire a taste for it. You go, "I chanted 10 rounds today, but actually I want to chant more." And you start to become very attached to getting up early and chanting rounds. And it helps you to acquire nice qualities, very nice qualities. So you must give it a try. Number 2, one should not pose himself as a religionist simply for name and fame. Right? Well, there's many people in the world like that. They want to be famous. And then they actually start movements. They're not religious movements, or they would like them to be, because they know God is the most famous. Even they don't acknowledge God, but they know that He's the most famous. They talk to anyone. Even the atheists that say, "I don't believe in God," but he's still talking about God, isn't it? Right? And so one should not pose himself as a religionist simply for name and fame. Krishna is the ultimate person to be worshipped, not us. Number 3, one should not become a source of anxiety to others by the actions of his body, by the thoughts of his mind, or by his words. So one should be kind. Prabhupada said, "Kill with kindness." We don't do activities that upset people. So sometimes, I noticed here at the temple, there was one thing that disturbed me. Because you have a huge temple here, and when you boys come in here, you have so much room in here, but when your mother comes and she wants to give an obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, she almost trips over you, because you're all there giving your obeisances when you've got 100 miles down here to give your obeisances. Why is that? Why you don't leave a little bit of room for the ladies? 1 altar, 2 altars, 3 altars. We also, in all the other temples that I go to, the ladies are at the back, the men are at the front, and we're all giving obeisances together. That's the way it should be. Not that I have to come in here and I have to say to you all, can you move a little bit further down so that I can make my obeisances to the deities too? You know, Jain, they allow that in many, many temples. In Australia, it's like that. And then when we moved down here, then you all go in front of the deities and the ladies have to stand at the back. Why is that? No, you have 2 altars over here and you leave this one empty so that the ladies can go down the front. Because remember, these ladies are your mother, right? And when you were a little tiny baby, she took care of you. She fed you, she dressed you, she bathed you. So every lady is your mother. So please, I want you to be a little bit conscious of that and be a bit more respectful. Not all of the Prabhus right to the back door in front of Prabhupada, so you can't even walk. I'm almost tripping over you because I'm used to that I can give obeisances to Gaunitai, then to Radha Krishna, and then to Jagannath, Subhadra and Baladev. I don't have to wait out the back until you're finished that I can do that. Do you think that's respectful? No. So please, will you try to do that? Because in most of the temples that I know, I go to, that's what they do. The men are over that side, they make their obeisances and they move forward. They let the ladies make their obeisances like that. At the beginning, as soon as the conch shell grows. Now this is common sense. Prabhupada said, unfortunately, in this Kali Yuga, common sense is not very common. Have you heard that one? Common sense is not very common. So these ladies are your mothers. They don't have to wait in line before they can go up and see Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna doesn't belong to you. It's for everyone, for the whole world. And you would find that people who would come to your temple and they have their family, and why are you nodding your head? Sitting on the chair back there. No, listen, you must listen. They would become very upset if you said that their children and their women have to go down the back on the side and wait in line for you boys to make your obeisances when you've got the whole temple to make your obeisances. They would be upset. They would say, why should I come here? So you have to be very careful how you act. Prabhupada said, kill with kindness. But if they have to come and stand over there and they trip over you, that's not killing with kindness. One gentleman came yesterday and he was looking after his mother and his auntie, and someone said to him, you go over there with the men. And I went up to him and I said, you know, it's very nice what you're doing. You're taking care of your mother and taking care of your auntie. And he was very happy that I said that to him, right? Now he'll come back again because someone was kind to him. This is not our temple. It's Krishna's temple. We are not the only devotees in the world. And actually, everyone is a devotee, isn't it? Everyone in this world is a devotee, but everyone is covered over to a certain extent. Fortunately, we've become uncovered. But the people out there, they're covered. But that doesn't mean they're not devotees. Everyone's a devotee. And so eventually they will come back to Krishna. So you try to give them Krishna consciousness, and if they're not ready for it, don't get upset. Just let them be. Prabhupada said just by hearing the kirtan and eating prasadam, they'll become devotees. And I've seen in my life as a devotees, The wife wants to be a devotee, the husband doesn't want to be a devotee. And after some years of seeing his wife and his children becoming attracted to Krishna, he starts to become a devotee too. But if you go there and you hammer him, no, you should be a devotee, your wife, your children are devotees, look at that. You know what he'll do? He'll walk away and he'll never want to come back. Understand? So preaching means being kind and trying to just be kind and become their friend, even if they want to do nothing for Krishna. But if you're kind and you're their friend, they'll come to the temple just because of you. So this means killing with kindness. This means preaching nicely. You understand? Everyone understands that? So today we're going to start, right? We're all going to start being kinder. Isn't that right? You can do that? Killing with kindness. And I guarantee you will distribute much more books than what you have been, just by that one quality of kindness. Number 3, one should not become an anxiety to others by actions of his body, by the thoughts of his mind, or by his words. I've talked on that one. One should learn forbearance even in the face of provocation from others. Just like we go out on the street in Harinam, sometimes the people can be very mean. Sometimes when you're distributing a book, go away, you lot, I'm sick of you. You know, they will say horrible things. But devotee must be very, peaceful in his mind, that he doesn't get disturbed. Does it happen to you? I imagine the brahmacharis, that happens a lot, that the people say mean things to you, right? But we still go on. We don't sit on the ground and cry, right? We still go on, no matter what happens, because we understand that we're all Krishna's devotees. Due to Srila Prabhupada, we're all Krishna's devotees, and he is going to help us to be strong. Sometimes you can stand on the street distributing books and everyone goes, no, 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 no. And then finally, someone takes a book or comes and talks to you. I always say, a lot of people, they said, do you sell a lot of books? I said, not that many, but always the ones that I meet and I'm able to talk to, they're the best ones. They're the best ones. In the whole day, I might meet 5, 10 people, but I always meet the best ones, the nicest ones. And so I get them to take a book, give a donation, but I always talk to them on a very personal level. And in the end, I give them a big hug. Oh, do they like that? They like that so much. And the next time they see you, hey, Surabhi, remember you wanted to get me that Bhagavad Gita? I didn't have enough money the other day, but today I have enough money. Like that. It's called, in business, you have, the most important thing in business is customer service, isn't it? So when the people come into the shop and they don't buy something, but because the person in that shop was so nice, they said, I'm going to come back and buy that because I know I need it, I just don't have the money now, and I'm going to go to that young man or that young lady because they had so nice customer service. They say, I met one man, because I did a lot of markets in Darwin when I was there, at the top of Australia, had a preaching centre for 15 years, and I went to this seminar. Every year they have a business seminar. We can have things like this. And the man, he was working for Coca-Cola in America. He was a top man. And he said, I want you to tell me what the 3 most important things in business. Number 1, what would be your answer? What's the 3 most important things in business? Now you are doing business. You are going out every day, you're selling books, you are doing business, right? So what is the 3 most important things in business? Number 1? Come on, there has to be an answer. You have to talk loud. Living? Is there a microphone? Oh, here it is. I'm going to give you the microphone. Please, someone get it. All right.
Hare Krishna. The customer should be received very nicely with a smile, and towards the end there should be nice impression that he lives with.
Yeah, that's customer service. So number 2, what's the most important things in business? Is it your price? Put your hand up if you agree. Is it your price? No. Is that the most important thing in business, that you're selling? There's a monkey. The price that you're selling your goods for, right? Price is many times important. You go to one shop, same product, someone is selling for $10, and you go to the other shop and another one's selling it for $8, right? So you've got price, you've got kindness. What about location? Who thinks location is one of the most important things in business? Location. There's a couple there that think location. Price, location. What about product? Do you think product is one of the most important things in business? Anyone agree? Anyone agree? Put your hand up. Nodding, I don't know. So you think. So I'm going to tell you the answer. The answer is, number 1, customer service. Number 2, customer service. Number 3, customer service. Because if you don't have any customer service, you're not going to have any customers. You understand? If you don't have customer service, you won't have any customers. Because if the customer comes in and you're grumpy and mean to them and tell them, oh, go away, just because we haven't got the price that you want, and you be mean to the customer, you think he's going to come back to your shop again? Will he? Yes? No? Are you hearing? Yes? No? Will he come again? Would you go again? No. So the 3 most important things in business are customer service 1, customer service 2, and customer service 3. Because if you don't have customer service, you won't have a business. Has that happened to you? That you've gone into a business, they do it in India all the time. You go to the fruit stall and you say, I want this one, that one. He's packing it all, and all of a sudden someone else comes along. And what does he do? Does he continue looking after you? No. He goes and serves the other customer. And I'm waiting. You know what I did? I walked away and left him with the whole lot. Because he didn't take care of me. I was an important customer. I had my money in my hand going to pay for it. But he just ignored me and served someone else. So you think that's a good thing? Yes? No? No. Would you like that? No. So customer service is the most important thing in business. The number 1. Like Prabhupada said, kill with kindness. Kindness is the most important thing. Your customer is the most important thing. Understand? Good one. So I'm probably not going to get through all of these today, but at least we're starting. One should learn, this is number 4, one should learn forbearance even in the face of provocation from others. So that's a very, very strong lesson we must learn, especially when you're going. How many of you go out on the street and distribute books or do books here at the temple? How many? Oh, only a few. In the old days, we used to all go out. We had VW bus. We had 6 VW bus and 7 Mercedes bus. Prabhupada would call it bus, but it was bus. And he would tell, people would ask him about his movement. He said, oh yes, in Germany we have so many buses, Mercedes and the other ones, and VWs. And every day we used to have ladies group and men's group 6 days a week in the bus, going out all over Germany, distributing books. We used to do that. It was very nice. And the Germans, oh my God, they are grumpy. You know what grumpy is? I told you what grumpy is. Now you know what grumpy is. They'd say, go to work. Why don't you just go to work? We're on the street distributing the books and the magazines. Go away, go to work. And I could understand the language, but I didn't let them know. And so when they used to say, gehen Sie arbeiten. Arbeiten means go to work. And I would just smile and laugh. And then they get really angry and they just walk away because I was smiling at them, right? So that was really tough. You do that in India now, isn't it? You go out on, not the ladies, but I used to have a ladies' party. 5 ladies, we travel 5 days a week, going out distributing books. Sometimes we'd sleep in our van. Sometimes we'd go to the church and they'd give us somewhere to sleep, especially in the winter time. So we had really, really nice experiences. We met the beautiful people. Sometimes they'd give us accommodation in their house. We'd meet them on the street. They were very nice. One lady, she was very nice. She said, where are you staying tonight? We said, oh, we will stay in our van. Oh no, you come to my house. I have an apartment. My daughter and my grandson, they have moved out. So we'd go to their house. Every week, once a week, we'd go to their house. And they loved us. And one day, we didn't come anymore. And they rang the temple, where are the girls? They're not coming to the house. They're so attached to us. And they said the girls have moved to a different area. And they were, oh, so sad, because the girls weren't going to come to their house. So we used to meet wonderful people when we go out on this traveling Harinam. We do Harinam, just little Harinam, but mainly books. So it was a nice experience. And we'd meet wonderful people, and we had to be kind, because the Germans, they are so heavy. I don't think the Indians are so heavy, no? They wouldn't tell you to go away, go to work. No. Somehow they just say, no thank you, right? And sometimes even when they say no thank you, I say to them, I'm grandma. Grandma wants you to buy a book of her. Please won't you buy a book of grandma? Grandma, I'm grandma to you all. And just from that, they would buy a book. Because Indians are compassionate, isn't it? They have a compassionate heart, especially for mothers, like that. So that's a very, very nice quality. Next, we have number 5. We should learn to avoid duplicity in all dealings with others. So Prabhupada, when we used to go out on books, he found out that some of the devotees were telling lies. They're telling lies, telling stories to the people about these books. And they wanted them to buy them, so they would tell lies. So this is duplicity, right? So we shouldn't do that. We should be very, very honest with our dealings with the people and tell them, these are books of 5,000 years old, and they're about spiritual life and how you can change your life just by practicing. Every day we do meditation, and you just tell them nicely, and you'd be surprised how many people will be attracted. And say they are not expensive books, but just by reading a few lines can mean the start of changing your life, right? So we don't have to tell them stories. We just tell them honestly how wonderful this, what we're doing. And they often like to hear, and they say, and so you do this every day? I say, yes. And how long have you been part of this? I said, 53 years. Oh, immediately they become attracted. They want to know, 53 years you've been doing this meditation? And then they start thinking, well, this lady has been doing this for 53 years. And sometimes they say to me, you are glowing. You know what is glowing? Everyone knows what is glowing. 1, 2, 3. Girls, you know what glowing is? And I've had that happen to me a few times now. You are glowing. Then they really want to know what you've got there. What have you got there that you're glowing? And so that's how it should be. We should be so happy in our spiritual life, following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, that we're glowing. So when we go out on that street, or when we just walk down the road, the people are smiling. And you're thinking, why are they smiling? And someone say, you are glowing, right? So then they want to know what you have. Why is this person glowing? They must have something special. And you be kind to them, and you tell them what you do. And most of the time they will buy a book. And if they cannot buy a book, they can give a donation, isn't it? Should try to give them a book. And just say, if you don't want to give, take a book. Would you like to give a little donation so that we can do our work? Here in Melbourne, we are distributing so much free food to the homeless people. Australia's become like that now, that the expenses of living in Australia, the cost of renting a house is so high that we have so many people that are living on the street or living in their cars, families living in their cars. And so this is not a very good thing. So one has to be very kind. Devotees go after Govindas is closed in the evening, and all the prasadam gets put in boxes and they distribute it. So devotees can do so many different things, so many welfare works. Look at all these lovely children, they've come to visit Krishna's temple, and just automatically they are pious, they are making their obeisances. Isn't it wonderful to see? Is it wonderful to see? Yes, yeah. Very inspiring. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. And the next one is number 6. One should search out a bona fide spiritual master who can lead him gradually to the stage of spiritual realization. And one must submit himself to such a spiritual master, render him service, and ask relevant questions. So sometimes the devotees, they join Krishna consciousness and they get caught up in immediately that they should take a spiritual master. Actually, I ask them, I don't even ask them that. They tell me, oh, I'm going to get initiated by so-and-so and so-and-so. And I say to them, don't think about who you're going to get initiated by. That will come in time. The most important thing is that you tend your little nest egg, your spiritual life. The little bird is born out of a little egg. And at first, he has to learn how to unfold his body and learn to walk. So don't try to run before you can walk. In time, when you're becoming more expert in your Krishna consciousness, you will know who that person is that you're going to get initiated by. It's not by the way he looks. It's not because he smiled at you. It's not because he's tall and he sings nice. All these things are totally irrelevant. One should accept the spiritual master by testing the spiritual master to make sure that this person is going to be the person who's going to take you back home, back to Godhead. And in the same way, the spiritual master tests the disciple that is this person a candidate for going back to Godhead? How can I help this person, right? So these two questions have to be answered before you even think about, I like this one because he smiled nice. I like that one because he did a nice kirtan. These are not the credentials for a spiritual master, right? So Prabhupada's explaining that here. This is the mantra 10 of the Ishopanishad. You all should try to read it. Very nice qualities there. What's the time? How many minutes have I got left? I can't hear you. 15 minutes? How many minutes?
It is 9:15, Mataji.
9:15. I've already gone over time.
Yeah, you can take questions now.
Okay, questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful class. And we'll pass on the message about respecting Matajis for giving them space for paying obeisances.
You give them space.
Our president, His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, is very respectful to Matajis and he makes arrangement. The announcements have been made that after paying obeisances, half the thing and in between this thing is also there.
Move over there.
Yeah.
Don't
so,
stand
but some devotees still are not following. We'll again tighten the screws. We'll make it again. So thank you for that. Regarding your respectful.
You have to.
Okay. Regarding
slowly.
Regarding your dealing that you are saying that we should be respectful to others.
Yes.
In book distribution, otherwise also. But it so happens that till the time the sadhaka in the beginning stage, he has envy, he has attachment and aversion.
Mm-hmm.
So he is firmly attached to some things and likewise then he is averse to other things. So in that aversion, he mistreats others. That kind of cheerful, like through book distribution, we understand how we get purified and we are very cheerful dealing with everyone, even if they don't take book and all. But that kind of homework is not done by many. And in that stage, when they have not done this homework, they are very kind of averse to others and they have hatred towards others and they just mistreat others. That happens right in the temple hall also. Mm-hmm. We can see, like the other day you said that man who was looking for his mother and aunt. So then somebody else kind of driving him away. So this mistreatment happens. Aversion is the problem. Attachment is another problem. So how it will take time. It requires training and the person takes time.
I think that when the devotees come to Krishna consciousness, you have to have a list of things to teach them what they shouldn't do. That's one of the most important things because they're our customers. The new people coming, right? So if we've been not nice to them, they will go away. They might never come back. Never come back. So this is the most important thing, to teach the devotees nicely what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And practice makes perfect. And one of the best things to teach the devotees from the very beginning is to get them to smile. Right? Smile. Learn to smile. Be happy. Right? Chant and be happy and always smile, right? Isn't it? If you see someone smiling, even though they don't know you and they're smiling at you, you think, oh, that's very nice. And sometimes you come and talk to them and say, I noticed you smiling at me. And they said, yes. You look so nice. You're always smiling. You have very lovely tilak. Or I met you in the other temple. Like with me personally, everyone knows my name. They know who I am. They see me places. They come up to the next temple. I met you so-and-so, right? But I can't remember everyone's name and everyone's face. It's very hard to remember everyone. Some I do, but, you know, so it's like that. But if we always smile, if we're always kind, if we always I very much look after the ladies now. And I see they really need that, because the ladies don't get so much opportunity as you boys do. When the sannyasis come, the spiritual master come, they can't go right up the front. They cannot do personal service for them. Maybe they can cook something at home for them. So I like to look after the ladies, and they're responding enormously. It's making me more and more inspired to do what I'm doing. And it didn't happen out of my thinking I want to do that. It's just automatically happened. And I see a real necessity there. I also get lots of opportunities also to interact with the Prabhus. They come and talk to me, ask questions and that. I'm a mother of 5 children and I've got 9 grandchildren, so I don't have a problem with boys or girls. You're all my children, all of you. Doesn't matter what kind of body you have. So like that. So, you know, these things are very important. And we try to train in the beginning. The person who joined the day before you, he was your mentor. The person who joined the day before you, he was your mentor. He taught you everything. And that's how it went. And we looked after each other. We were very much a family. But we did have some problems. I don't know if I want to tell this in the temple. But you know, we had some fanatic brahmacharis. And they used to say, this is for the devotees, this prasadam is for the devotees, and this prasadam is for the women. Women, you know. So we used to get kind of treated in that way. And it was hard. It was hard. One time I went to Mayapur and Jadharani was giving a class, and I said to her, do you mind if I ask a question? And she said, no. I said, where I live for the last 10 years, I've been chanting out in the cold. Well, we have a small temple, and when it's japa time, the men all go into the temple and the women go outside. And most of the women go home. But I don't want to go home. I want to stay there and finish my rounds because I've got 5 children to get up, right? So I go to the temple early. I get part of my japa done, 3:30 I'm there. So I get like 10 rounds done before Mangaladi, and I've got another 6 to chant after. So I must get them done. Then I've got to go home and I've got to get the children up. But sometimes it rains and sometimes it's very, very cold. And so I said to Jadharani, I said, on our farm, I said the women have to chant out in the cold. And the woman was me, because all the other ladies would go home. But what would they do when they went home? Were they chanting them rounds? Or were they sleeping, right? And so I knew if I went home, I'd be sleeping. So I never went home. Anyway, she said to me, change it or leave. Change it or leave. So I went back. I'd been already on that farm for 10 years. And when I said that to them, they went away. And then the next day they said, okay, this is after 10 years, right? Okay, the ladies can go in the temple 3 days a week, and the men can go in the temple 4 days a week. And I said, okay, well, at least it's better than what it was. And guess what happened? What happened? It rained, and they all came back inside. All the men that were chanting always in the temple couldn't even go outside for 2 hours because it rained, and they all came back inside. From that day on, it was the women on one side of the temple chanting and the men on the other side. So that's tough, right? Imagine that. What if all the ladies stayed inside and you probably were all outside and you weren't allowed in the temple? Would you like that? No, right? So we've been through a lot. I could tell you many stories. So I want you to, all of you, to be very respectful to the ladies. Understand that they're your mother, regardless of what your consciousness is at. It's not going to change. They're always going to be your mother. Your mother is always your mother. And you can call your mother or your mother calls you, and she'll always love you, regardless of if you became a devotee. If you brought her to the temple, would you put her in the cupboard down the back? Would you do that? No. So don't do it to these ladies. They are your mothers also. Any more questions? You have to come over here. That microphone.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for the beautiful class and very enlightening. I would like to take up this moment and, the past few days has been incredible serving you. I've learned so much, like all Prabhupada disciples, especially Mataji's that, I hear and I see, like, just for example, yesterday when you had to go to 2 o'clock, you were traveling and you were very tired and fatigued, and just 1:20 you put an alarm and you said, I'll take a quick nap, and dot on 1:40 you kept an alarm for 1:40 and you were up dot on time. And like this class, you were saying that, waking up early in the morning and chanting, and it takes a lot. I mean, morning program is very attached to me for some reason. Like, I've always been hearing my Siksha and Diksha Guru, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, would always also say that, chant your rounds if possible before Mangalarti, and please, if you can, attend morning program. So morning program's been very dear, and I would say, just when you were saying that this temple is so beautiful and so incredible, if you see everywhere, it's so beautiful, it's magnificent. And also I wanted to say they are very, very kind, because they accommodated like my physical limitations. And the deity department, I wanted to acknowledge and also take this moment to appreciate, my heartfelt gratitude to Revati Prabhuji, that, when he saw that, when I have a difficulty, like due to the past accident, he accommodated, and the temple accommodated to have a separate chapels for so that the devotees are encouraged to participate the morning programs or all the programs in the temple hall and not left out just because they are in pain. So I see this, I am so heartfelt, very, very gratitude to this temple. They are very, very kind. I see that. And just when I wanted to see all its children when they come, the BMS student, the Bhaktivedanta Model School, I just noticed, just when you said that, give room to Matajis so that, or the mothers, and treat them as mothers. All the girls, all the women are like our mother. And I saw the boys at the back standing with their folded hand, waiting for the girls to offer obeisances. Very patiently, the boys were waiting, and the girls took up their time and offered the obeisances and walked down, and then the boys followed. And I was so impressed. I said that this was our right decision to coming back to India for good, and we wanted NVCC. We moved from VCC back there from US to NVCC, New Vedic Culture Center, and it's just the right decision because it's so incredible. This young generation and this younger souls are giving us this exemplary, inspiring learnings as well. And just as I see you, and also Ladini Mataji, just when you were mentioning that you will wake up so early in the morning and take up a cold bath. Ladini Mataji in New Vrindavan, she would take up cold bath back then in 70s and 80s. There was no heater, and chant, and so dedicatedly in New Vrindavan. And I see all Matajis. Now you're my role model as well. I mean, every time if I have to wake up early and I'm very cold, shivering, and I just used to think of Ladini Mataji, that how she would render all the services. All of you Prabhupada disciples are really, really very, very compassionate, very merciful, and above all, you're very, very kind and very gentle. You're so loving, like a mother. Like past few days has been so incredible. I have not felt a moment that I have to be, I'm a servant. Yes, absolutely, I am a servant, and I wish to serve in a humble state of mind. But you're giving that love. No, you're my daughter, like your granddaughter, like that. So it's so beautiful. And one question I wanted to ask, based on the class today, was how do we be, all of us, everyone, we are all trying to be kind, but there are times and instances where we feel that when they are being corrected, they feel, oh, how are you so mean? Or, they've been, so a lot of them, they don't have that, just as Prabhuji, Sundar Sham Prabhu, His Grace Sundar Sham Prabhu was mentioning, that a lot of time, devotees are, a lot of time, people are coming and they're just joining the movement and Krishna consciousness. They're taking up. They're still having a lot of, from the back, past samskaras. So they have a lot of conditioning. And, to take that conditioning, there is some sort of a moderate strictness as well as the kindness required, wherein it's a kind of a little tricky, not tricky, but it's kind of a little difficult, wherein, when they make a correction, they feel offended, or they feel that, oh, I was being, told off. So, they feel like really heavy on their part. And we say, no, it was just for your own good, but how do we see that? So basically, how do we get that kindness always there, and to give them that in their heart, that we are kind to you, we don't mean anything. If I'm correcting you, does not mean that I have any hard feelings towards you. I will be just the same as, you've seen me all these days. So how do we?
Kindness comes from practice, and how to talk to people nicely. And best what Prabhupada did, he taught by example. And you can always use Prabhupada as an example, that how he used to do things. Right. Remember what I said to you about, even I had a father of my own, but my father was always working all the time to maintain the family. So he had hardly any time to spend with us, and not until I met Srila Prabhupada did I really feel like I had a father, you see. So devotees are generally very kind, and so we just have to try more. We have to kill with kindness.
Absolutely.
Prabhupada said that.
We're going forward.
Everything takes practice.
Right.
And don't worry so much, just do it.
Okay.
That's the way. Okay, I guess we have to finish now. So next time I come, I'll give another talk for you all. So I hope you are all happy with that.
Yes.
And thank you. Not all the temples let the ladies give a class and to give Prabhupada Arti. So I'm very happy that you gave me that opportunity. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Please come again, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please come again.
I have some little bookmarks if you want to line up, and I'll give you one. Bookmarks, you can come and I'll give you one if you would like. Ladies too. I don't know if I've got enough for everyone. Come, ladies. Yes, these are from Ujjain. They are from Ujjain, from the media department. Whenever I give a talk, I like to give little gifts or some prasadam or something. A hug.